Your attackers took your ability to observe as slowness. This is a quick message from the universe. Chosen one. Chosen one. This is for the ones who have went through these situations. And if you're somebody that's finding yourself in current situations that I speak about, pay attention. Now, chosen one, you found yourself in a situation where people were trying to get reactions out of you. And these reactions came in a form of you didn't see a person all the time. You know, somebody was pulling strings and fucking with you basically. And before you realized what was happening, you would give them an emotional response. Now, what your attackers are aiming for is to be able to push your buttons, pull your strings, and to make you act out in emotional responses or, impulsive responses. Basically make you crash out, lose your shit. And so you got to the point where you realize, man, something doesn't add up. There's something going on around me where it's like seeming like everybody's trying to get some type of response out of me. And so you went into observer mode. Now, observer mode looks, different for a lot of you. A lot of you go into observer mode, and that could be a lot of different forms. But when you went into your observer mode, you stayed still a lot. You didn't really make no move. See, your attacker is constantly looking for you to make a move. They do things and then they wait on a response. See, you became observant to that fact, and once you realized that they were waiting on certain responses, you gave them the opposite. You gave them responses in which they did not expect, and thus they couldn't implement plans in the way that they wanted to against you. Now, they try to incite anger in you a lot, chosen one, because they know when woman move in anger, this is the time where you could most likely get them, right? Because when people move in anger, what happens? They do things out of impulse. And so a lot of the times when you were in your little situation, these people were trying to incite anger in you. And you knew that. And so you shut down your emotions and you shut down the ability for people to make you angry. And then what you realized was it was a pattern. See, chosen one, once they couldn't get an emotional response or the type of response they wanted, they became sloppy and they started showing their hand. They started showing that you indeed were correct. You knew that someone was, pulling the strings, because when certain things would happen and you didn't give a response, it would get worse. The energy, the things in the first place that used to make you lose, it would get worse. And so you realize this is something that's orchestrated. There's something going on. And so you understood that as long as you didn't give a response, that you could maneuver through the situation. See, chosen one, what you got to realize is if someone is inciting anger in you, 9 times out of 10, they are not your friend. They are, could be a honey trap or something like that. This is how you know. This is one of the direct ways you know that you might be in a situation that is not is good for you. If someone's constantly trying to incite your anger. But see, when they started to see that you wasn't giving the type of responses that they thought, this is when things got a little sloppy. able to pick up on it. See, they took your observation for slowness. When they couldn't get a response out of you, then they got impatient and they began to get sloppy, and they began to show you their hand, which confirmed that you were indeed in a honey trap, in a setup. So if you find yourself in a situation, chosen one, where somebody's constantly trying to get a response out of you, maybe you should sit back and observe. Your attackers mistook you sitting back and not making a move for dumbness. And so they showed their hand, and you realize what was really happening.